We've received quite a bit of interest in my free to be workshop, so to that effect, beneath this video is a link that will give you a description for the workshop, and we've also included a special discount. So if that's something you would be interested in, I would invite you to click that link, and I hope that you would find the course to be quite beneficial. The more fully you get to know a narcissist, whether it's somebody inside your family or in a social setting or in an organization or work, you'll find that these people bring a great deal of strain and tension to a relationship. They're not at peace. They're not at a good place inwardly. And you can ask, well, what's going on that causes narcissists to have so many episodes where they're frustrated and tense and agitated? And the answer is, these individuals are driven by self-loathing. Now, almost to a person, virtually every one of the narcissists that you would talk to and say, yeah, I think you have a lot of self-loathing on the inside of yourself, they would say, no, that's not the case. My response to that is, oh, yes, it is, and it's the case in a grand kind of way. Keep in mind, narcissists are not exactly known for having keen psychological insights. Now, I want to set this discussion up by giving you an analogy. If I were to do commerce with you, then because I live in America, I would pay you with American dollars. That's what's inside my bank account. Now, if I were in Europe and I were to do commerce with you, then I would pay you in euros because that's what would be in my account there. In a similar kind of way, we have a psychological account that we draw upon when we engage with one another. Notice that when narcissists engage with you, they want to give you payments of harshness. They'll pay you with disdain. They'll give you lots of anger. They'll give you plenty of contempt and criticism. Why is that? And the answer is because that's what's inside their psychological account. They give you what they possess on the inside. And you'll notice that when push comes to shove, when there's strain and tension, they don't give you kindness. They don't give you empathy. They don't give you encouragement. They don't give you love. Why is that? It's because it's not inside their psychological account. We expend to others what we carry on the inside of ourselves. And so it's going to be so essential for you to see that so much of this anger and strain and tension is the narcissist's way of saying, hey, there's a whole lot of strain and difficulty that's on the inside of me. I don't like my life. I feel pessimistic about who I am. I'm not going to admit it, though, because I'm just going to say you're the problem. In their deep history, though, we can see that they received lots of negative deposits into their psychological account. Now, to take this a little bit further, I want to see if I can give you some evidences that will allow you to spot this self-loathing that narcissists carry on the inside. And then once you see it, you can hardly not see it from there on. For example, the narcissists, as they engage with you, they're already thinking, I'm not going to be emotionally vulnerable with you or anyone else. In other words, I don't want to admit my hurt. It's on the inside of them. Why is that? Well, because on the inside, in their deep past, they've realized I hate the weakness that's on the inside of me, and whenever anyone has found out about it, it has not played out very well for me, and therefore you're not going to see my vulnerability because I can't stand that side of me. I'm going to give it to you, but I'm not going to admit it about myself. Or another evidence of their self-loathing is the narcissist can think I must. And when I say I must, in all caps, defend myself at the hint of any kind of rejection or disagreement. Why is that? Well, again, we go back and we ask, what's in their deep history, and if they were honest, they would say, well, I have a very strong fear of other people's judgments. And I know that if you speak about something that you don't agree with, It's not going to end well. That's a sore spot for me. You're judging me, aren't you? And I can't stand that. I hate that part of my life. Therefore, I'm not going to examine anything that you have to say. I'm just going to tell you you're an inappropriate person. I can't go into that space. Or another evidence of a narcissist's self-loathing is you'll notice that they will not listen to you. What's going on with that? And again, if the narcissist could be honest, they would basically say, well, in my deep history, listening doesn't work. I have not been listened to well. I haven't had good exchanges where we had a fair appreciation and understanding of one another. That's not something that I have inside my psychological account. So why in the world would I listen to you when I know that it's just a losing proposition? What I'll do is I'll just tell. But listening, that doesn't work for me. I don't like what that brings. It's brought nothing but trouble. The lack of listening has brought nothing but trouble to me. Or another evidence that narcissists have self-loathing is that they insist, I must be in control. And specifically, there's a mental kind of control. I want to control your opinions. I want to control your interpretations. Why is that? Well, in their mind, if they could be honest, it's like they would think, you see, if I don't control you, I've had plenty of history in having been controlled or knowing that there's an agenda out there. And it just brings up so much a painful memory on the inside of me. I hate that. I don't like being controlled. I don't want anybody telling me who I should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sidestep that, and I'm just going to pronounce the control over you. You have to think what I think. Or another indicator, another way you can spot their self-loathing is watch how they will unload their anger onto you in a very demeaning kind of way. Now, those of you who have followed me, you know that I believe that there are healthy ways that you can maintain and manage your anger. But there's nothing healthy about a narcissist's use of anger. Instead of having clean, respectful assertiveness, they go straight into the condescension that is part of the aggressive form of anger. They can go into passive-aggressive shutdown. They hold grudges very easily. Why is that? Well, it's because anger is what I carry on the inside. I have so many reasons to feel resentful and bitter about the raw deal that I've gotten from other individuals that's what I carry. And so when I unload my anger onto you, I'm just showing you that's the currency that I operate with. Or how about another evidence? Narcissists will insist, I have to let people know who's the superior person here. It's me. Why is that? And it's because in my past, I know that there have been some things that people could pick up on about me that might make me look inferior. I hate that about myself. I hate that I would ever be seen in that negative kind of light. And so what we'll do is we'll try to change the narrative, and I'll just let you know how you're inferior, when in fact, actually it's my way of saying I'm trying to run away from that part of myself as well. Do you understand what I'm saying here? The narcissist's negative approach toward you is one enormous projection of the pain and the disarray that they carry on the inside of themselves. They don't like the way life has played out, and rather than thinking, you know, we need to do something positive about that. We need to change the trajectory. What they do is they try to cover it up, and they try to put all of that pain and the responsibility of their pain onto you. And it's their way of saying, I don't know how to heal, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let you know you're the problem. Guess what? If you were not the person on the scene in their life, and somebody else was in the role that you're in, they're still going to act the same way. They want you to think that their difficulties are caused by you, when in fact, no, they just carry it. That's their currency. That's their psychological language that they draw upon. And they're going to unload it on whoever's there because they have a generally pessimistic approach toward life. It's pretty sad, isn't it? Now, once you see this, and once you realize that so much of their negativity is their way of saying, I loathe who I am, I loathe what I've been through, I loathe the way that people have treated me and what I've had to deal with in my life, then I'm hoping you can think, there's certain responses I'm going to have to that. First, I'm sorry that you're feeling so much pain. I'm sorry that you don't have the competence to draw upon. I'm sorry that you don't have peace on the inside. That's truly sad that that's the position you are in your life. And then I'm going to also say I'm going to objectively recognize this explains why you can't love. This explains why you don't show respect, because you don't have a love and a respect on the inside of your heart, beginning with a respect toward yourself. Why in the world would I expect you to offer to me something that simply is non-existent on the inside? Then my response is going to be, that understood, I'm going to go into a very opposite direction. I'm the kind of person that if I have strain and difficulty, I'm not going to park in self-loathing. I'm going to ask, what is my cleaner alternative? What are going to be the ways that I can take responsibility for who I am so that I can enter into love and goodness and kindness and encouragement? And to the narcissist, my response is, I'm sorry that you can't go there with me. Nonetheless, I'm compelled to give what I know is wisest and best, and that is I'm going to be anchored in goodness. I'm going to be anchored in dignity, respect, and civility. That's what I have to offer. I wish you could go with me, but I understand that that's not something that's going to happen. And I hope this gives you some good awareness of what you might be dealing with. These are very pained individuals, and they have not come to terms with it. It's so essential for you to realize these kinds of things so that you can move forward. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so, because I'm hoping on a cumulative basis these kind of videos can assist you. Sometimes you may have a need to seek out therapy, and I'm pleased to let you know that I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below to their online therapy resource. It's so helpful when you can have somebody that will say, tell me about your experiences. Let's see if we can work this out. And you can know that you have somebody that's there on the path with you. If you have a need for therapy, please go beneath and hit the link and get the therapy that would be necessary. Likewise, I put out courses that are intended to be extensive guides for you. Each course is like signing up for an online class, has at least 25 videos, lots of written documentation per video, and guided questions. We have Ready, Set, Connect about how to have healthy connections. This is me establishing your boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite the controllers. I have my webinars that have been presented, the 90-minute webinars. It's all available on the website, along with articles, access to the podcast, and my books. So plenty of ways for you to get help. Narcissists give you a loathing kind of attitude because that's what they carry towards themselves. It's so essential for you to see that. They want you to be the problem because it's their way of saying, I feel so inept in being able to find my own peace. I can't go there, so you have to be responsible for me. Don't buy that. That's just part of their confusion. I'm hoping that as you have the objectivity that's necessary, it will allow you to say, I am going to take responsibility for myself. And in the end, it allows you to be the person of peace that they simply are not going to be able to have.